Howdy and welcome back to Celebrating Vintage Model Kits. Going to be looking at another Airfix kit today. This is the 1964 issue of the Airfix Hawker Hunter F.6. It's kit number 288 in 1/72 scale. This is of the Hunter F.6, and we've got box art by William Howard Jarvis. As you may notice here, this is possibly an originally sealed kit. I can't quite tell because it does have tape on here as well. It looks like possibly this tape has never been cut. So it's possible this could be the original cellophane wrapping, on this kit. It does have this half price net 75 cents. The end has $1.29, so that's not really half price, but maybe that's with tax. Yeah, so not quite sure, but anyway, this kit here's got this prominent artwork of the Black Arrows, and the Black Arrows were the first official RAF demonstration team. There had been some other demonstration groups, 2-3 aircraft putting on performances, but this was an officially recognized demonstration team for the RAF, and they were established in 1956 by Squadron Leader Roger L. Topp, who was the CEO of 111 Squadron, or the Treble One, and from 55 to 56, they operated 4 aircraft as their main core, and they painted their aircraft in an overall gloss black, which is pretty striking, especially on the Hunter. From 56 to 58, they flew 5 aircraft, and then from 58 to 60, they flew 9 aircraft as their main core of the Black Arrows. One of the things that they're famous for is on September 7th of 1958, at the Farnborough Air Show, they set a world record by having a 22 aircraft full loop, and that loop with that many aircraft still remains a record today. Right after performing that loop, they then did a 16 aircraft barrel roll, and that was the first time that had been done. I think other groups have done something like that since, because it's just listed as being the first, whereas the 22 aircraft loop is still saying that it's a standing record. In 58, Squadron Leader Peter Latham took over, and he's the one that increased the demonstration team to 9. Now, when they did the 22 and the 16, they're using some additional aircraft from the squadron, and in some of the images you'll see not all of them were painted black. They're using up additional aircraft to fill out that 22, but it's still pretty spectacular. In the channel description, I'll include a link to a couple of videos that are online on YouTube that show the arrows performing, and also a video on that 22 aircraft loop. So let's take a look at our kit here. Let's get this cellophane off and see what we got. So you can hear it's the real plasticky kind, as opposed to kind of the stretchy of the modern stuff. So it's definitely an older style wrap. It's been on for quite a while because it's kind of caused a little bit of warpage to the box. There we have that. And let's take a look at the bottom here. And it does look like this hasn't been opened. It's kind of come unglued a bit, but this was never cut tape. So I think we are going to see a pristine kit the way that it came in 1964. Well, before we open it, let's look at the rest of the box. So this is what's nowadays called the red stripe era of Airfix kits. Got the older logo with the 72nd scale, constant scale marks on here. Supermarine Walrus is another kit available. Mosquito 6. Part of Series 2. This side shows a Mirage 3 and an Opera Anson. And we also have this little perforated cutout here with a little hole in the middle, so this could allow the aircraft or the kit to be hung on a peg, kind of like the bag kits. On the end here, we've got the kit number 288. We have this $1.29 price tag stuck over it, which was underneath the cellophane. So this was imported into the U.S., it looks like, and had the price added. And we've got the Made in England on here. Nothing on the bottom. Let's see what this thing looks like inside. Woohoo! Look at that. So we have our decals sitting on top. Set those aside. Got a little pilot hanging out right there. He looks a little smaller than 72nd scale. He's a tiny little guy. So we've got an insert here for if you're missing parts. Send it in. Here's our instruction sheet. It's printed on a little bit of a slicker paper. Got a little bit of history on the Hunter in 3 languages: English, French, and German. Basic instructions. Key for the callouts. Simple assembly here. Almost the entire assembly is being done right here. And then the landing gear parts. A whole mess of rockets. And some drop tanks, some bombs you could alternate in there. And this is kind of neat. These early issue kits had this little gun tray that you could put in, and then there's a little stand that it could sit on as well too. This feature was eliminated from later issues of the kit. And then we have 3 views, painting guides and decal placement. And be sure to use Airfix paints. Printed England. Alright, so that is your instruction sheet. Decal wise, you still have the little wax paper on them. Relatively good shape. They're not really yellowed much at all. But this one here is for one of the black arrows. We have a serial number of XF416, and that is an actual real aircraft that was assigned to a 111 Squadron. It was built as a F.6 in 1955. Constructor number was 54U3292. In 1965, it was converted to an FGA-9. And that was done at 5 maintenance unit at Kemble. Then ended up with 20 Squadron. January of 67 ended up with 28 Squadron. In 13 of February 70, it ended up back in the UK, so apparently it was overseas at one point. And then in April of 1984, it was sold to Zimbabwe for the Zimbabwe Air Force. It's given the number 1098, and it currently resides still in Zimbabwe at Thornhill Air Base in Guru, Zimbabwe. So kind of nice that aircraft still exists. And then this one here is for a Swiss aircraft. Then we've got J4041, and this again is a real aircraft. This was a Mark 58, and it had constructor number 41H697408. Had its first flight on 23 April of 59, delivered 2 June of 59 to Emmen, and was delivered to 15 Squadron on 9 June. It was modified in 1964 to be able to use Sidewinder missiles, and it was finally retired on 16 December of 94. At that point, it had 2,654.22 flying hours, and it accumulated 1,571 landings. And it's currently can be seen at the MMW Museum in Wildig, Switzerland. So both marking sets, the aircraft still exist. So was able to find quite a few pictures of these. So we'll show those to you here. Now let's take a look at what we got in our plastic. So it's molded in black, which is pretty cool for the black arrows. And we've got not much as far as rivets. This kind of predates the real heavy rivet stuff that Airfix got into, but we do have some pretty fine raised panel lining. A little bit of rivet detail, but it's really delicate around a few little areas. Well, we got separate rudder on here. Here's the opening for that gun bay. Pretty nice and delicate. And let's see how it fits with the other fuselage half. Got a little bit of sinkholing there at the locator pin. There we go. Not the best fit, maybe a little trimming or something might be able to get this to fit a little tighter. But man, it looks sleek in that black. Hunter's one of the most beautiful aircraft, particularly of the second generation jets. And here we've got our wings. So we got top wing. Again, some raised lines. A little bit of rivet detail around some of these things. Our dog tooth. When I read, the plan form is not the most accurate, but it gives you a good impression. And let's see what we get with our wing pieces here. A little bit of a thicker trailing edge, but separate aileron pieces. Nothing on the interior for the wheel wells, but lots of holes here for rockets and drop tanks and whatnot. There's your wings. Set the stand and clear parts aside. And this tree has one of our ailerons, I think, part of our gun packet. Some more gun packet parts. I think this is for intake. There's our gear doors, cockpit pieces. Very simple. Not a lot of detail to it at all. Typical early 60s. There's that. And this tree has our horizontal surfaces. Looks like there's fabric cover representation here. I didn't realize that the Hunter had fabric-covered elevators. That's strange. Triple stacks for rockets. It's your bombs, nose wheel. Looks like the nose wheel may pivot. Maybe the gear operates on this kit. Interesting. There's that one. And then we've got our drop tanks are put in here separate pieces as well. Not much to them. And looks like we got a second canopy in here. That's kind of cool. Ended up with two canopies in here. There is no framing on this whatsoever. It's very, very thick. A lot of distortion. And zero framing. Well, maybe there's a line there. Nothing on the surface, that's for sure. Feels like maybe something on the inside. Let's look at this one. Yeah, there's kind of a line. Maybe not. You're freehanding a canopy frame for sure. And then we've got the standard Airfix small aircraft stand. Molded in clear. So there you go. That is the Airfix Hawker Hunter. Exactly how you would have gotten it in 1964. Kind of a treat to see an untouched, unmolested kit. All right, so as far as other issues of this kit, so the original issue of it was 1960. It was started out as a bagged kit with the header on it, and let's get that back in there. There was another version that was released in 63, which used the same artwork as the header on the bag kit, but it was in a box. And then you got this one here in 64 with much nicer artwork. Those early bag kits had very simplistic artwork. And then let's see, also in 63 was an Airfix Corporation of America, which had completely different artwork. Didn't say who it was, but it's a good chance that it was Joe Catula, who had done some of the other ones for Airfix Corp. It's got the same markings for these Black Arrows aircraft, but they show it doing like a ground attack, shooting rockets, which is a little odd. And then we got this 64 issue. 67 had the U.S. Airfix, or U.S.-based Airfix Craftmaster series that reverted back to that Airfix Corp of America box art. 71, you had a revision of the box, same artwork, but with the little round Airfix logo. 71 and 73, variations of that. 79 had completely new artwork by a gentleman by the name of Ken McDonough. And then 83, the kit itself was modified into the FGA9 version. And that started with the photo box. And 86, same thing, a little bit of a revision on the photo box. 94 had new artwork again, and this time it was done by Gavin MacLeod. And in 2002, there was a revision to that box art. And then finally in 2004, it was issued as a triple set, also including a Harrier and a Lightning. And that's the last of the issues of this kit with Airfix. So, it lasted a good 40 years in their lineup, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see this come back out as one of their Airfix Classics kits. So, well, that's about it for this one. If you have built one of these, tell us about it in the comments section. If you got one of these sitting on your shelf, built up, take some picture of it, send it in for the next viewer build video, and share it with others. Well, that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and have yourself a great rest of your day.